you get it so low registered like that? Because when you play it, it's gonna come through like a synth. It's got so much bottom in it.
Yeah. So starting with like the analog chain, on the 1073, I'm like notching out 1.6K, and then I'm like completely notching out 12K, the shelf. So I mean, there's really nothing up in that area with the bass, but that's just to get like all the noise out. Then I'm compressing it a lot. I'm also boosting 35 hertz on the 1073, and then 30 on the Pultec. And I'm compressing a lot. So a lot of times, like, if you take all the mid and high frequency out of a bass, it's real uneven. But I'm doing a lot of compression with the 76, and that's like grabbing the attack. And then the LA2A is kind of like evening it out. And then there's a little bit of a chain here. I'm also doing a low pass filter. Shout out to Logic stock plugins.
For the win, baby.
For the win. And where is this at? 96? Jeez, somewhere around like 100 hertz. I'm also notching out 250. That's kind of like, I feel like if you listen to like my mixes or like my samples, that's kind of like the sound that I have. I always usually notch this out a little bit, because I record a lot of things in proximity or things that are really warm, and that's just like mud right there. And it kind of helps everything, to have a little bit of separation in the mix. Then I'm also doing some more compression in the box with the MGUC Junior. And then lastly, just a little bit of saturation, because I filtered everything out, so the saturation is going to help it punch through in the mix a little bit better, so it's not just going to sound like complete mud. It's probably helping you hear it through the camera audio. So yeah, that's the whole chain. It's a lot of processing, but it sounds cool. I think so. Yeah, so I'll play, you guys probably know this bass line. Same sound. That's that like signature Dilla bass. So I have this chain saved, this channel strip setting saved, whenever I want to call on that sound, and I just tweak stuff. So for like the real early Dilla stuff, I back off the saturation just a little bit. Usually I'll have it like somewhere around here to really help it. That's a little too much. Usually, yeah, somewhere around there. I mean, even like that, when all the other instruments are on top, you don't really hear the saturation that much. You can just hear the bass a little bit more. But all that low end is still there, so you still feel it. You just hear it a little bit more. But I'm gonna back off the saturation. I like that bass line though that I was playing, so I'm gonna record that. One more time. A little faster than I thought.
I think it's the first time everybody's seen you actually on camera playing the bass.
Yeah. No, I on most of the packs that I'm on, I am playing bass. So yeah, this is
Just not on camera.
just not on camera. You guys don't usually see me playing bass, but this is the bass I use on. If I'm not playing synth bass, I'm playing electric bass. This is one I use on all the packs.
What's the name of this one?
I believe it's a 2004 Fender jazz bass made in Mexico, 5-string. I did a little bit of work to this, so I have Seymour Duncan quarter-pound pickups. There's like actually a little bit of a story with this bass. So I believe when I got it, even this pick guard was different. I think this was black. So I changed this out. I was used to playing an active bass. Active bass is one that has batteries in it. The output is a lot louder because there's literally a preamp in there. So I wanted the feel of a passive bass, which is a little more natural, but just with the low end and the output of an active bass. So the quarter-pound pickups are a little hotter. But I'm really a fan of Pino Palladino, who's actually on a lot of those like Soulquarian records. It's Pino playing bass.
Yep.
And James Jamerson, who did like nearly all the Motown stuff. So I was kind of in search of like something in that lane, and so I got the flat wound strings. So the funny thing about that, these are labella flat wound strings, which is, I believe, what James Jamerson used. So I bought them. I bought the extended version, so the strings were really long. So the 5th string didn't fit in here actually. So this B string is actually a Diodario chrome flat wound string. So this string is different than the rest of these.
What was it, too round?
No, the strings are actually too long. So,
oh, I got you.
So yeah, like when you get to this part, the end is a different width than the rest of the string. Mm-hmm. So it literally wouldn't fit through the hole up here.
Wow.
So I had to get a completely different string for the low B string. So
that's pretty dope that there's a story behind this.
Yeah, no, that there's, and I bought the bass because before that I was using like a Squier Jazz. There's nothing wrong with Squier, but I just knew like I was getting better at bass. I wanted something that, you know, is a little bit more up to speed. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, and this bass is like still going through it. The strap locks are coming off. This one is completely off, somewhere behind me, and this one is a little loose. So yeah, I'm not taking this out anytime soon. But yeah, no, the sound is pretty much in the lane of all this stuff, or I can get like super like 70s tones with it, or even, you know, if I want to do modern stuff. But the bass kind of fits my character and a lot of the music that I make, where the bass kind of just sits behind everything. Mm-hmm. It kind of just fits on a track. Mm-hmm. Like I could kind of do any genre of music with this, because the bass is really just gonna play its role. Yeah, so as I'm like plugging the guitar in, I realize there's a story behind this one too. So you guys probably saw in the last video I was using an orange guitar, and there was a time, like 2014. It was spring 2014, and I left that guitar in front of a church.
Like outside.
Got in my car, left the guitar outside.
With no case?
No, it was in a case.
Okay.
So I realized the next day my guitar is not here. So I drive to the church, and of course it's not there. So I go to my guitar center, my local guitar center. I see the guitar up on the wall for sale for like way lower than what, because I put some work into that guitar. Actually, no, that's not even how it happened. So I think I remember my aunt ended up giving me money to get a new guitar, because I was like, yo, my guitar is stolen. And I later found it up in Guitar Center. But with that money, I bought this. And that orange guitar is really versatile. So there's like a 5-way selector pattern. So I said, all right, I have to get something like that guitar with a 5-way pickup selector. So obviously a Strat. This is a Fender Stratocaster. This is gonna put me in that in that ballpark. And I know I wanted to get something with a humbucker pickup in the bridge, just for like those real fat sounds. So I kind of like tricked this thing out too. This is a Seymour Duncan. I can't remember the model number, but basically it's like their high output Alnico 5 humbucker, and to combat the brightness of the maple neck, I got the Texas special pickups in the middle and the neck position, and those are a little bit darker. They're still high output. I like my pickups to have high output. This was all black, and I bought this pick guard. I think it's, funny enough, pickguards.com, something like that. And I got this like, Prince kind of purple pick guard. All of these stickers. So funny. We just interviewed Prince Paul for the podcast, but my brother's in a DJ group with Prince Paul and another DJ called Retmatic. So he has a bunch of these stickers just lying around. So I got one here, and one on the back. You see I got this Soul Surplus sticker on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Fly Society. Honestly, I can't remember what they do. I think they do clothes, they do hats. They're like a street.
I have no idea.
Fly Society. Well, shout out to Fly Society. And Stone's Throw.
Obviously.
So what I like about this guitar, it's kind of like a combination of all the things that have influenced me. Like, what does a guitar, an electric guitar, a purple electric guitar, have anything to do with a DJ group, or like Stone's Throw Records,
Mm-hmm.
But it's I don't know. It's just kind of like it's like a collage of all the things that make me to be me, like the Prince influence, the hip hop influences, all of that, and it's just a really cool guitar. So yeah, the reason why I have this is because the guitar that I got back. So yeah, I'll get back to that. I found it on the wall at Guitar Center. Thankfully, I had taken that same guitar to Guitar Center to have it worked on, so they had the serial number, so I could prove to them that the guitar was stolen.
Did they give it to you for free?
Oh yeah, they gave it right back to me, and the owner was like, "Did you learn a lesson?" I'm like, "All right."
Yeah. Okay. Cool guy.
Yeah, like, all right, Guitar Center, man. Did you learn a lesson?
Did you check the serial number before you bought it back?
Right.
Did you check this guy's story?
Right. For real.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, that's. I'm glad I have this though, because this guitar is great for recording. I don't like it as much playing live, but yeah, for recording, I can get a whole bunch of different tones with this. So, yeah. Also, for the pack we're working on, something's wrong. I think I need some new tubes in my guitar amp, but it's making these really like gritty noises. So,
but not in a positive way.
Yeah, if I was like out gigging and I brought that amp out, yeah, not in a positive way. But for this, it sounds perfect.
Oh, okay.
it sounds amazing. Like you'll hear it's just really, really warm and just dirty the way I have it set. So
nice.
Yeah.
Think you're making it too busy?
Yeah, I'm just kind of like doing everything I can just to like. I don't want to like do it and then do something later. I'm like, yo, I wish I added that. So I kind of like I take things as far as I can take them, and then just like pull it back, you know.
Right.
So
got you.
Yeah. Don't ever question me again. No, it's like.
Fire.
What?
If you did lead on the pianette and then let Joel do Rhodes underneath, that would be fire.
Yeah. He would be able to. No, I was gonna do the lead with the roadie. That vibraphone sound. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna lay down something just so there's like some kind of body there, and then I'll send it over. Just because I at least want to hear what it would sound like with that like electric piano sound, you know. Let's do something real quick.
Okay, Smiggity.
It's really loud. I don't think I'm gonna make it bleed. All right, so I'm doing a quick little mix down, something for when I get back to really mixing it, everything is kind of like in its place already, and I don't have to do too much like shaping of the sample. So I'm gonna start off with the waves for this pack, the DBX 160. I usually kind of lower the threshold a lot because by the time I'm done mixing, I do a lot of subtractive EQ, so it'll be a lot quieter, and it'll actually be grabbing the track the way I need it to. This is stuff on the master bus, by the way, so might be a little too much. Yeah, the DBX 160, it's really grabby, and it's good on drums for that reason because it's punchy, and you normally will never see it on a master bus. But I really want to simulate the sound of like vinyl compression of like, a record on vinyl. So I want something that's gonna pump a lot, So I start with, like I said, the threshold pretty low because I know I'm gonna be doing a lot of subtraction. Then secret sauce right here, UAD. FX tape machine.
Low key, the Soul Surplus favorite plugin.
Absolutely. And this is a setting actually I got from Elvin, and I just use it as my default setting. I just switch on sync right there to get a little bit of high-end roll-off. For this pack, a little more wow, a little more flutter. Definitely the hum, a little hiss. So at this point, because the tape introduces a lot of low end, it kind of saturates the low end. I'll start to take the low end out of other stuff. Usually started with the P&N at 250. Usually the problem, and especially with the donut stuff, like the old donuts, it's really, there's not a lot of low mids or mids in it. It's present, but usually the drums are taking up that space. So I kind of want the bass to like be separate from everything. I want that bass to be real heavy. So I'm making sure I take that out of everything else. Then for the P&Net, I actually use another Logic stock plugin. Then I'll use this to get some stereo tremolo effect. I'll take the low end out of this guitar. I'll use a shelf instead of a filter because I still want some thickness in the guitar. The Rode is a little odd to mix, so usually it's around like 700, like 400 to 700 is a little extra. So
You just giving away all the sauce today, man.
all of it. Then take the bass down. This is kind of like where I get it. Oh, also, sorry, last thing on the master bus, Abbey Road vinyl. And for this pack, I'm using some flutter, some volume fluctuation. Just to get that a little more pumping in the track. And then more specific to this pack, I'm just going in with a graphic EQ, and I'm ducking again around that 250 area, maybe a little bit like 300, just for that Dilla sound. And then once I'm done mixing, I'll put a limiter at the end of it, and that's pretty much like a pretty quick mix for these samples. So you see the track is pretty minimalistic. But really what's filling the gaps, I'm not really thinking about using a lot of tracks per se, but I'm letting the musicianship and the saturation and like all of the gear kind of fill the gaps, so everything is playing its role. So yeah, that's how we do it.